We're going to learn the Ketubim for Parashat Acharei for Sunday Chok L'Yisrael. Devash matzata echol dayeka pen tizba'enu v'hakeoto divsha mashkahat echol suvkanach dela tizba uttevene. So if you found honey, eat just enough for yourself, just what you need. Why? Because if you overeat, lest you become sated with it. If you overeat it and become totally filled up with it, vakeoto, you might vomit it. So it says, Rashi explains that this pasuk is connected actually to the next pasuk also. What is the next pasuk? Next pasuk says, Hokar raglecha mi bet re'echa, pen isba'acha usne'echa. When you visit your neighbor, visit him sparingly. Don't overdo it. Because maybe he will become so sated with you that he might come to hate you. So that's why she explains, even though your friend likes you, enjoys your presence, you're being together with him, still you should not overdo it. Just like honey tastes good, a person should not overdo it. A person should not also overdo that type of visiting your neighbor or your friend, or overdoing it. Mefitz v'cherev v'het shanun, ish oneh bere'eu et shaker. Ech peri'ah v'sayfa negida shenila gavra, de masad al havre, saduta de shikra. So it says here, the explanation is a person who testifies falsely against his friend. He's like mefitz, like a club, like a sword, like a sharpened arrow. These are all tools of war, and they're like somebody who gives false testimony against another person as if he was injuring him with arms. Shen ra'ah ורגל מועדת, מפתח בוגד ביום צרה. איך שינה בשתה ורגלה מועדה, הכנס אברה דבזוזה ביומה דאקתה. So it explains here, like a broken tooth and an unsteady leg is trust in a traitor in a day of trouble. What happens if you have trust in someone who's actually not a true friend? He's somebody who's actually going to be a treacherous person, somebody who's a traitor. He's the same way as if he was a broken tooth that you cannot use, or an unstable foot. Ma'adeh beged beyom kara, hometz al nater, veshar bashirim al levra, deshakel martuta min havreh beyom de karta, hech uderame hela al nitra, ומצרף לליבה אחיכה, איך ששה למנה ואיך מלטיתה וכיתה, הכנה בריותה, מחדה ליבה דגברה. So, the explanation of this pasuk is, Ma'adeh beged is a worn out garment on a cold day, is like vinegar on chalk, and so is one who sings songs to a broken heart. In other words, the timing is very important. Somebody who's upset, and you come and act to him in a way that's like singing songs and that type of thing, he's not going to be able to relate to what you're telling him. So that's why the pshat here, the pshat of the pasuk, is the timing is wrong. If you're going to sing to somebody who's very upset, he's not going to appreciate it. Just a person who's putting a worn-out piece of clothing in a day of cold, or puts some vinegar on the type of earth that becomes ruined when if you mix with it vinegar. But Rashi explains it on another approach. He says, Shar shirim al levra. Shar shirim, the Torah is called shira. Kidvu lachem ta shira azot. So the person who teaches Torah al levra to a wicked person is also doing something wrong, just like pouring vinegar over chalk, which would ruin that kind of material. and looks like wearing worn out clothing on a cold day. אם רעב שנאך האכילו לחם, ואם צמא השקהו מים. אם כפן שונאך אוכלי לחמה, ואם צחה השקה מיה. So it says here, if your enemy is hungry, feed him bread. And if he's thirsty, give him water to drink. In other words, don't stoop down to his approach, on the opposite. If he looks like your enemy is hungry, give him bread. If he's thirsty, give him water. Because the next pasuk that we'll learn actually tomorrow in Ketubim, the continuation will be Ki gehalim ata hotei al rosho, Hashem yishalem lach. And the continues the pasuk that comes afterwards says, like you will be scooping coals on his head, and Hashem will reward you because you haven't taken revenge from him. On the opposite, you have continued to be a good person. You see that he's hungry, even though he's acting incorrectly towards you. Still, you feed him. You continue to be nice. That's the best thing that you can do. And the following pasuk indicates Hashem will reward you. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen.